Here it is, a real rat. Paul Daley spent the whole fight waiting to land a cheap shot. The guy was ready to sacrifice his entire career for that one happy moment, and in the end, he just ended up in deep shit himself. Josh Koscheck and Paul Daley didn't even touch gloves before the start. Most bets were on Paul Daley. Fans and analysts were certain his knockout power would make the difference. But already in the first round, the script collapsed. Koscheck showed who was in charge on the mat. He dragged Daley down again and again, leaving him no chance to strike. Josh smothered him across the octagon, displaying relentless control and wrestling. At some point, it felt less like a fight and more like a wrestling clinic, with Daley completely shut down and unable to breathe under the pressure. Daley grew more frustrated with every minute. On the feet, he looked dangerous, but Koscheck shut everything down with takedowns. On the ground, Josh worked methodically, locking his body, maintaining control, peppering him with short punches. Paul twisted and turned, desperate to escape, but each time ended up under pressure. The crowd grew restless. They expected Daley's knockout, but instead watched him get dominated. It became obvious Daley was losing. His helplessness on the ground drove him insane. The final horn confirmed Koscheck's victory, but for Daley, defeat was unbearable. Overcome with anger, he lost control and made the fatal mistake. Right after the fight ended, he threw a punch at his opponent. Nobody saw it coming. Not the fans, and certainly not the UFC president. Dana White was furious.
He will never fight in the UFC ever again. It's done.
But despite being exiled from the UFC, Daley didn't disappear. He kept fighting in other promotions and kept winning. He still had fans. People were waiting for that moment when someone would finally punish the rat. The irony is that after the Khabib versus Conor fight with mass brawls and cage jumping, White didn't fire anyone. But here, the decision was instant. Double standards? Maybe.